Welcome everyone. Welcome to Frisco MuleSoft Meetup group. Um I'm Anubhav Mangla, and today myself and Senthil will be talking about automating purchase order with MuleSoft IDP. A couple of things before we begin. You can use the chat box to your right to type in any questions or anything that you might have during the meetup, and we'll make sure someone from the team is responding back to those queries. And feel free to post whatever you would want to ask around it. This is just a general forward-looking statement that we have on the guidelines. I'll keep it there for 10 more seconds for you to quickly look at it, and then we can get going. Moving on, this is a safe harbor statement which says, so both the speakers and host, we are organizing this meetup at the individual capacity, and we are not representing our organizations here. This is purely for the community content. And the presentation that we are presenting today is strictly for learning purposes only. We do not hold any responsibility if the solution that we are presenting today or the way how we are solutioning it works for you. It depends on your business use case. And this presentation should not be used for any promotional activities outside of community. These are we have a Frisco Meetup group. We have a new member as well who we missed on adding here. So Lavina, she is the VP Customer Success and Sales at Caelius Consulting. Then myself, I'm Solution Architect here at Caelius, based out of Dallas office. And yeah, and we have Himanshu as well. So let me see if Himanshu, will you be able to come on and introduce yourself? We missed adding him here. He was newly introduced to the chapter. If not, that's okay. We'll move on. So in today's meetup, myself and Senthil, we will be presenting, talking about MuleSoft IDP and automating the purchase order process using the same. Senthil, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Thanks, Anubhav. Hi, everyone. This is Senthil, Associate Solution Architect here at Caelius, and I'm also an Hyperautomation certified. So happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll move on. In today's agenda, introductions part, we have already covered. What we'll be covering is why is the need of using MuleSoft IDP. Then we'll be walking you through the IDP on any point platform, which will include how to provision that for certain users within your org, and then how to create templates out of it and publish on Exchange. Then we'll cover the Anypoint Studio part and how to use the dependency within your RPM manager and your Anypoint Studio. And along the way, we will be more than happy if you have any questions to answer those questions. Talking about why MuleSoft IDP, it's basically over the course of years, the IDP has evolved. There is a need of where we would be needing documents, and taking a very basic example in purchase order, we might be having purchase order number, PO number. So there might be a number of names or the positioning of those important aspects within the document might be at different coordinates within the document, and it might be coming from different sources. So how IDP works is it can intelligently go and identify if it is a PO number, if it is written as purchase order number, if it is written as PO hash. So all of those things it can intelligently identify and give us the required output, which we can use to integrate with any of the end systems. So, as we have mentioned, delivering intelligent automation anywhere, replace manual data entry with AI-powered IDP. In the background, it's using Gen AI to extract all of that information. Then with the MuleSoft IDP, we are able to save the cost, cost and time, as it comes with the out of the box templates for invoice and purchase orders. We just have to configure them once, and then we can reuse it a number of times. Also, it made it very simple for document processing. We can pass many documents and still be able to extract the information that we need out of it. So I'll quickly switch over to this slide as to and keep it here as to why there is a need of OCR, and why we are wanting to use the MuleSoft IDP. Senthil, you want to touch base on this slide?
Yeah, sure. So again, in a lot of the customer use cases, we do see, we are receiving an image based data. So again, that's one of the major factor that OCR in an IDP is mostly used. So again, MuleSoft IDP is also capable of extracting all the data within an image format as well. Be it a PNG or JPEG, we can feed it to the MuleSoft IDP to extract it. So again, we need an structured or semi-structured to get the data. So if a PO number is present in an top of the screen, and again in another PDF it's present in the middle, MuleSoft IDP is still able to handle and extract the PO number out of it. And also one more thing, we have a prompting within the IDP. If any of the details are not able to extract within the train model of invoice or purchase order, we can still use in plain English text to extract the values out of it. So for example, the same purchaser Anubhav will be covering the same. So what is the purchase order number in this. So again, MuleSoft IDP is capable of going through all the documents and extract the details based on the prompt that we will give. So that's one of the added feature within MuleSoft has introduced in the MuleSoft IDP. And again, more of the things Anubhav will cover on a practical. We can add a validation threshold. We can also send it for a manual review in case any of the required fields or threshold doesn't match. So we have more future packed up in MuleSoft IDP. We can't wait to show the in a demo for you guys.
Thank you. Post this, let's have a walkthrough of IDP on the Anypoint platform. So as you can see, we log in. So we should be able to see once after your org is federated, your RPA manager tenant and Anypoint platform is connected, you should be able to see this intelligent document processing here, and you should be able to see get started. First, to provision any of the new users that are not currently having access to IDP, you will want to navigate to access management. And let's say I go look up for myself, go to the specific user and add permissions. We would want to add all the document actions, basically permissions. Just hit select all and do a next, and then next you will have to select the business group where those permission needs to be provisioned. Post that, just add those permissions, and the user should be able to identify, or sorry, they should be able to see the intelligent document processing, and they should be able to access it. Posts that, this is the interface. We have home, document action, and any of the review tasks. Uh, to begin with, we can create a new template, which can be published later on to Exchange and reused within the Anypoint Studio as well as RPA Manager. So we are going to create a new template for purchase order. Let's say I'm going to call it Frisco PO, Frisco meetup. Post this creation, if you see it by default loads all of the fields that are usually expected out of a purchase order. There are about 54 fields here, shipped via subtotal. All of these are usual components that we see on a typical purchase order. I'm going to load one purchase order from and I'm going to run this. What it's doing in the background is it's scanning all of the information and will translate it to the required keys here. So as you can see, we are able to translate 16 out of 54, which means tax information. Um, if I point it here, it also points to that it is 10%, and it is able to scan through from this particular document, and we can choose to have it or not have it. Depends on what fields we would want to extract as part of the IDP output. So I can totally disable these, and I can enable these. More importantly, I can say, okay, my tax information is important and it is required. If in case it is missing, it needs to be sent for review. And also I can set a confidence score. Right now, by default, for all of these fields, it's set to 80. Even if it is 60, it should pass through. Then, or if it is below your confidence score, then it will send over for the review that we will be adding. So talking about reviewers, I can add my reviewers like this. So let's say let us add Senthil to the reviewers list and save it. So if in case there is anything that is below the threshold for your fields or required key is missing, it is going to send it over for review. Let's review other fields that are extracted out of it. If you see Partner's vendor city, so this also is extracted, vendor name, state, street, and we have not given any of these details. It automatically, intelligently extracted that information out of it. So all of the details that we see are important and required are extracted from this. More importantly, we can see this table, which shows you the information of the items that are there. So it's able to extract the information, exact price, what is the price, what is the quantity, unit price, and the total cost of it. That's part of the items. If in case there are any tables, any tabular data that we need to extract, it will be populated here. And the third thing to it it is prompt. Let's say out of these 54 fields that were by default, still we are having a condition where we want to extract more fields, which is not mentioned on those 53, 54 fields. What we can do is we can write a prompt. Let's say I'm going to keep it simple for this meetup. I'm going to say total cost, and I'm going to ask what is the total amount. It gives suggestions also, but if in case anything is complex, you can just give it, and then you need to give a confidence score. Let's say keep it default, and just add it. And if I rerun it, it should be able to provide this total cost. If you see this highlighted section, it should be able to provide that cost. However, that is automatically extracted part of this as well. So if I can find it, Yeah. So it's already extracted, but if in case we can always give prompts to extract the information that we need. Post this, I'm going to save this and publish. What it's going to do is it's going to publish this as an asset to any point exchange within your org, which you can later on reuse and invoke using your RPA manager and your anypoint integrations. So Senthil will be demoing that in a bit. So as you can see, it's published. Let's try and open it. So it is published by the template name that we created, and it gives us the endpoint that we need to invoke. It has this post method which invokes, and this can be further taken on and integrated within your RPA manager. So we can take a quick pause here, and if in case there are any questions on this part, please feel free to post in the chat, and I'll hand it over to Senthil to demo this piece, integrating this within Anypoint Studio as well as your RPA manager,
Yeah.
RPA builder.
Thanks, Anubhav. Before moving, okay.
Yeah,
So,
you want me to screen share?
yep. Okay. Yeah, Joe. I'll show you that right after our demo. I'll use a different PDF to show you how prompts works, which is not already taken by the pre-built one. If that's okay. Yeah.
Yep, I'll stop sharing.
Yep. Thank you. Anubhav, kindly let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so for this demo, I have taken one of the pretty much standard use case. So we'll receive one purchase order in a mailbox. So I have configured this specific mailbox. So we'll receive one purchase order, specifically this demo purchase order one. So as soon as we receive that, we'll extract the document and we'll send it to the multipart form data to an IDP. So again, we just need to go to the exchange and search for the IDP which has template which has been published. So again, adding that will give us an connector there. So for post the document and to get the document. So this the multi-part payload. So it just takes care of all the attachment one by one and send it to the IDP. And also to note that MuleSoft IDP is an asynchronous process. So it will as soon as it has been shared to the IDP, it will give us an execution ID. So with that execution ID, we need to use a get request, again a connector to get the results out of it. So we have three types of status: in progress, manual validation needed, and succeeded. So manual validation needed typically indicates it's needed manual review. So like Anubhav mentioned, just in case the threshold is below 80% or whatever we have set for a specific field, if it's below the threshold, then it will indicate in a status that manual validation needed. Or if specific field is not at all present in an PDF, so then also it will be sent to the manual review. So I can also show how the manual review looks like after the demo, and how can we enter the values against it. So we'll send the a document to post document action ID. Again, the configuration is pretty simple. So we just need to provide the host. All these details will be available in an exchange. Put HTTPS and a client ID, client secret within published document action scope which Anubhav has shared. So we need an connected up with that scope to do these actions. So once we get that, since it's an async model, I just used an until successful, but we can use an queuing, or we can have a different one to or object store to store the action ID, sorry, execution ID. Until unless it is succeeded or manual validation needed, we can put the execution ID taken after a specific point of time. Just for this demo, I have used an until successful to get the results, and the same data will be pushed into Salesforce. For now, I have used around 5 to 6 fields to extract out of it and put it into the Salesforce. So we'll see all those things in an actions. So I'll post this demo. I'll also show you how to configure achieve the same use case within an RPA manager as well. So the reason behind, again, in any cases, the source target system is on like cloud based. We can use an MuleSoft to achieve it. So and if there isn't any legacy based, we can use an RPA to achieve the same. So I'll show that as well in a bit. So let me push this into an inbox, and we can see it in action. So it will the connector has been set for every minute, so it will go and fetch the details, and it will send it to the IDP. So again, if it has a 10 attachments or one attachment, we have handle that as well. We can similarly handle the same in an RPA as well. Just wait for it to trigger. So in the meanwhile, I'll quickly, okay, it has triggered it. So this is the attachment, that purchase order PDF, which has been sent over here. I can also show you what the data looks like. It's the same purchase order which Anubhav has configured. So okay, then it's currently extracting the downloading the attachment, and transforming into multi-pod payload. And once it sends to the IDP, we'll see the execution ID. So there is the execution ID, which post response of IDP gives us back. Since it's an asynchronous, we need to use this ID to get a results. So we'll see that shortly in that as well. So in the meantime, I can show how actually the data looks like. So this no this is the structure that MuleSoft IDP provides us the data. So it have like specific field values, which includes all the party details. We have a vendor, we have buyer, we have ship to, so which we can easily extract it. And all the line order items will be mentioned under this tables. And similarly, we'll have one more key called prompt. If we have configured the prompt, those prompt will comes under a key prompts. So with the like name of the prompt and what is the actual prompt that we have written in it. Okay, it has been success. Let me go to Salesforce. Okay, so this is the purchase order, which we have sent, the purchase order 000124, and the purchase order date 3/5/2024, and vendor details, and buyer details. So all those name, vendor name, buyer name, and what is the tax, what is the delivery date, subtotal again. So we can take care of the standard object as well to utilize this, the product one, and the line items to uh, insert all the details. So for this demo, I have created a custom object to show these details. So this is how we can use a MuleSoft IDP within an Anypoint Studio. Again, going back, how can we achieve the same within RPA? So for that, we need a latest version of RPA Builder 6.10. And also to achieve this, right, I'll show you how it looks like. So we have a specific toolbox which has been provided for this. Retrieve results from MuleSoft IDP and submit document to MuleSoft IDP. So this is the post request and this is the get request. So in order to use this toolbox within the MuleSoft RPA, we need our Anypoint platform and RPA manager to be synced, linked. So until unless it is linked, we won't be able to use this connector. So basically, I'll show how this connector looks like. for no, this is how the connector looks like. So if you see, there was a loading and it connected to the MuleSoft, and it showed this specific screen. So this will only happen if our RPA tenant is linked with our anypoint platform. So if not, it will give a prompt over here, we need to migrate our RPA to anypoint platform. So that's one of the prerequisite if you want to use IDP connected within our RPA manager. So basically, once it is connected, we just need to whatever the template which we have published. So we can see all the templates over here. So we just need to select which template that we want to use. And again, since it's an exchange asset, we can also select the asset version that we want to use it. And what is the directory path, the file which will gets downloaded, stores in, and what is the file name. And again, the connected app which we use same for MuleSoft Studio as well as over here. So we need a connected app with published document scope in it. So this is the overall configuration, pretty simple. Just need to provide this, and whenever the document is in the place for that specific folder, it will able to extract it and push it into over here. And retrieving is again simple. We just need to use this retrieve results from mule IDP, which will have a similar interface. So we need to pass that execution ID which we have which we will get as part of the submit results, and same which IDP sorry, template we need to use, and what is the asset version, and again the credentials. So again, they have introduced all the credentials to set it over here. For connected app, we have a new set of variables, and for execution ID as well, we have a new variables introduced to accommodate this MuleSoft IDP changes. So this read email is pretty straightforward. It looks for a PO inbox mail which has been configured. If there is a mail, then it will get the details, and it will download into one specific directory. I have configured it to this one, mule meetup in progress, and it will download the PDF, and from there it will be sent to the submit one, and it will be shared. So for this demo, I'm not inserting for RPA side, I'm not inserting into Salesforce. I'm just extracting and displaying in a message box. But again, once we extracted it, we can easily take the details and put it into any of the legacy based system as well. So I just wanted to show how we can achieve the same within RPA for any legacy based systems. So let me go to PO inbox. I'll mark it as unread. Now I'll start the process. So again, we need to consider that asynchronous nature of IDP into consideration for Anypoint Studio as well as RPA Manager. So accordingly, we need to solution the process. Again, for this demo, even in RP, I have used an retry strategy to check for an similar to until successful. I have implemented the same inside the RPA manager as well. We can see all the details as well shortly. Okay, so there's the attachment name. So let me close it. And similar to what we have seen, the execution ID, we'll also able to see the same over in RPA manager as well. Sorry, RPA builder as well. So there is the file name, there is the execution ID, and there is the status of the post request. So once it has been submitted, we'll use the retrieve results. Okay, so if we see that the status is manual validation required, so I'll also go to the anypoint IDP in anypoint platform, and I can also show how the how can we do the manual intervention. So this is the result. I just logged into an a message box, and purchase order number same as what we have seen in Salesforce. Purchase order date, vendor name, buyer name, and subtotal amount, total amount, all these details. So similar to you know uh, we can use the JSON path expression to retrieve the results. Again, with the latest version of around 6.5, I believe we have a inbuilt JSON path expression builder as well. So all we have to copy paste this, click on next, and everything is clickable. So if we say that I need a tax value, so clicking on the value, it automatically populates the JSON path expression. So we need not to go search or build our own JSON path. So all those taken care. And again, we can even use an attribute for any kind of filtering. So all those details are readily available over here. So if we know this is the right path, we'll just click on apply, and the path expression will automatically apply over here. And then we can read it and set it into a variable, or we can push the data right away to our legacy systems. So again, it's as simple as that, to use an MuleSoft IDP in both Anypoint Studio as well as in an RPM manager for legacy based systems uh, to insert the details. So, is there any queries so far on how to use IDP within Anypoint Studio as well as in RPA Manager? I can take up the queries. If not, I can show that prompt. How can we use a prompt to extract any other details as well? Anubhav, is there any queries on the chat or QA box?
Yeah, there is a query regarding multi-part payload in the Anypoint Studio.
Hmm.
So Joe says, are you able to show your transform message for multi-part payload? I'm curious what the parts of the multi-part request looks like in Anypoint Studio.
So for this, I have used a generic multi-part one, just sending what is the file name and what is the content of the payload. No, that's pretty much.
Does that answer your question, Joe?
Yeah, this part taken care by the RPA side of it, so we don't need to use this. All we have to just point it out the file name and the folder, and the connector takes care of all the things. If you are integrating the same in RPA.
Another question from Vijay is, can you show us the Gmail setting accounts in RPA Builder? I believe it's connected app settings.
Sorry, is it
Yeah,
Gmail one?
Gmail. Yeah, he's asking for
Yeah.
Gmail.
It just IMAP setting that I have did. If you have an Gmail, you can utilize an IMAP, or if you have an Outlook. So again, IMAP will also work, and Outlook also has an capability, or we have a specific toolbox to integrate. We can use an OAuth to integrate with Outlook as well. But it's pretty much the IMAP and the host. I can quickly show you the values as well. Okay, it's I'm sorry, I port number is 993, and the basic IMAP host. So that's pretty much the one. So after clicking on test connection, it will give us similar to MuleSoft connector. We can also use the test connection. So once that is done, we can use the read mail connector over here, and we just need to set which inbox that we need to use. What is the maximum email that we want to use, and where do we need to save the attachment. So based on this directory path, it will save the attachments. Does that answer your question? So this read email is same for Outlook and Gmail, and again, just the connection configure will differ. If it's an Outlook, we need to provide an OAuth credentials to it.
Yeah, Vijay, regarding Gmail values, he say, I saw the value as smtp.gmail.com.
Second, yes. Yeah, okay. It's working with IMAP one, but yeah, IMAP one that host. Sorry, I don't have the top of my mind. So that should work as we have all the things read and send, so probably it was taking at that point.
Another question from Jyoti is, I needed one confirmation for RPA part. IDP is not fully automated, right? So I've asked for
Sorry.
clarification as to what that means.
It's fully automated. Specifically, we have IDP configured for purchase order. Sorry, let me. So for purchase order, for invoice, and we do have a generic document. If our document is not purchase order or invoice, we can still use the generic document with the prompting to get details out of it. Right. So we have all the things, and all three are fully automated. We can send the document and get the details out of it. So only thing is it has a pre-built like model to capture all the required details for invoice and purchase order. So in any case, if these fields, if your document has fields which is not listed down, we always have a prompt to get the details out of it. I'll show that as well, shortly.
Yeah. Another thing is, Senthil, if we can show one with the prompt as well,
Yeah.
extracting.
Yeah. Let me reshare my screen. I just need to
Sure.
find the specific prompt. Sorry, specific file. So in the meanwhile, is there any queries? I'll find that specific file, then we can see the prompting as well.
Yeah, there's another one from Jyoti. She says, as we saw, there was a manual approval required after post call.
Yep, yeah, I'll show that as well. How that looks like, and again, that's one of the useful feature within IDP. Who are assigned to that reviewer, they can able to look through the PDF and send the details. Uh, yeah, I'll show that as well, shortly. Just a minute. Okay, let me reshare my screen and let me know once it's visible. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is the manual validation. If any of the PDF which we have, during the results, if we get a manual validation required, so this is the place we will see all the files which needed a manual intervention. So I'll quickly go to the demo purchase PDF which we are using. So for example, the same PDF, and if we can see the tax has been set this for 80 percentage, but during the extraction the threshold is 67.30. So in any of these cases, we'll get the document and the field which needs a manual intervention, will be sent over here, and the reviewer can come to the screen and he can check, okay, is tax is 10% or is it like 11%. For example, I can change it, I can make it as an 11% if IDP extracted it as a 10 instead of 11. So in any of the cases we can come here again, if the for example, delivery date a field is not at all present and we have mentioned it as an required, the same will be visible over here. And we can add the detail, and then clicking submit and done will mark that result from manual validation to succeeded, as a status. So from there again, any of automating the solution will take care of it and put it into the respective target system. So this takes care of the manual validation. As soon as it's submit and done, the status will be changed to the succeeded. So this is one of the coolest feature MuleSoft IDP has introduced to do the any sorts of manual things. So where we have the original PDF and the fields which need an manual review, side by side for making it more easier to achieve it. Does that answer your questions, Jyoti? So this how we'll do for any of the manual PDFs. So if I click on submit, then this will remove from here, and it will move. I can show that as well. Okay, so this check mark shows, then if I, so we'll have that execution ID which showed us manual validation needed, right? So if I hit that same execution ID again, then instead of manual validation, it will show us unsucceeded one. So that's manual task within MuleSoft IDP. And I'll go to the prompting one. So no, I'll use again. We can use if it is an invoice data within the invoice. If you have any other details, which is not within this pre-built or inbuilt fields, so we can use the prompt to extract it. So for now, again, I'll go to this generic one, and I'll show how the prompting looks as well. But it's same for all three types. So same screen. Again, I'll click on the file. So I'll upload this intake file. So again, so for example, I'll just run this file without any prompt. I won't be able to see any data because it's in generic, so it doesn't have any of that inbuilt data similar to purchase order or invoice. Again, we can correlate the same to invoice. As long as the pre-built fields are there, it will extract. If not, it won't. So for example, I want a db no sorry dob. I'll just go to the prompt. I'll add dob and I'll ask what. Okay, I'll run it again. We can run add any number of prompts that we want to extract out of these templates. We just need to, if in case the prompting query that we give doesn't work, we can also tell the prompt, look for under this section. So in patient intake form, we have multiple sections, so we can say what is the patient name under patient information, or what is the address under prescribers information. So again, we can write our prompt to tell it to the IDP to accurately look for where it needs to look for to extract the data. So again, all these steps are the same. We need to add a prompt, add a reviewer, publish it, and again when we consume this template, so whatever the prompt that we have mentioned, all those details will be extracted similar to that JSON. So if we can see, we just mentioned what is the date of birth or DOB. Again, we need to make sure, again, it's intelligent enough to identify DOB as a date of birth. Again, we just need to provide a prompt to make sure it's more easier for it to capture it. So it still, need to, it will capture, what is date of birth, but again, it's all in our prompts. So again, I can highlight this, it will tell us, what is the extracted results. So similar to this, we can add a number of prompts in case those fields are not available specifically on an invoice or purchase order. And if doesn't if your PDF doesn't fall on invoice or category purchase order, we always have a generic type, so where we can run prompts and get all the details out of it.
And just to add to it as well, you can provide various PDFs. It is not restricted to, so you can provide multiple PDFs all at once where you would want to extract it, and based on that, it can intelligently do that.
We can add other file as well, and then we can set up the prompt to make sure if it is a different format, we can also make sure that the same prompt works on other files as well. So unfortunately, I do not have another similar kind of the sample intake form, but we can add files to configure that as well. I hope this clarifies you.
Okay. Mm, yeah. Got a response. So another question from Jyoti. So this manual intervention is which required while processing the PDF in case of MuleSoft RPA. Is there any way we can skip this part or make this part as not required so that once my PDF is posted to IDP, it implicitly fetches JSON result?
Yes. MuleSoft IDP is not restricting to if it is a manual intervention, it will not say you won't be able to proceed forward. We can still able to send the same results to the target systems. But the major reason behind that, since we have mentioned the threshold to be 80% or the specific data to be required, so it would be always good to have that manual review, because whatever the configuration that we have kept is not going against the PDF that we are sending. But nevertheless, if we do not want that manual intervention needed, we can still take that JSON and put it into the target systems. So just the status, based on that we need to proceed forward, or we can stop the flow. So it's entirely up to us how we are solutioning it.
All right. I don't see any other questions. I think we are good. Um, so
That's great. Okay, yeah. Just to highlight that, it can also handle the handwritten data as well. So we can also use an image one to with an handwritten, also to extract the details out of it. Okay, I
perfect.
think that's
Yeah, I
pretty much
think
about the MuleSoft IDP. The uh, yeah.
if in case you are having any questions, you can reach to myself or Senthil, and yeah, and we should be able to answer. The recording for this meetup, we are going to send as a wrap-up email. So you should receive that the presentation as well as as well as the recording in the email in a couple of days. Thanks, everyone.